Thank you, Corinne. That was so nice of you to say those things. Please excuse me as I try to talk without interruption. Good morning. Thank you for having me today. My name is Kimberly Little, but you can call me Kim. As Corinne said, I am the Assistant Director of the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute at NC State. And through that work, that's how I met Dr. Mark, who invited me here today. So thank you so much for that kind invitation. I'm going to share my screen, hopefully with no issues, but let's just see what happens when I do that. I'll talk through it. Let's see. It's missing. Please hold while I go to my email and talk to you while I do that. Um, a little about me. I am not a medical professional, academic, or expert on aging by any means. But what I am is a world traveler, a lover of culture, a lover of people, adventure. I've always been very curious about the world and, all the people in it. And it's been a pleasure to have experiences around the world in my 20s. Can you see that now? Oh, goody. In my 20s, I was opening as Google Slides. In my 20s, after college, I went out exploring around the world, group travel, independent travel, volunteering, working, getting by, essentially, is what I would say. I was really building a fun life for myself, but I would hardly call it making a living. So I had to return back to North Carolina, even though it was a very formative time and a great time, didn't pay the bills. So that's what got me back here. Okay, did I get there? Am I on my slides now? Thank goodness. That's what got me back here to North Carolina. In 2019, I started working in performing arts marketing. Here's just some pictures I wanted to show you of my past life. And a large part of my job in the arts was community outreach, going into communities, talking to people about the programs that we did. And the average age at the time of a patron of the arts is 72 years old. So I would find myself often in like senior centers and social clubs and independent and assisted living facilities. And through that work, I really came to appreciate the time I spent with older adults, listening to their stories and their thoughts. I just felt really close and connected to this population, maybe an old soul. I don't know. And I saw firsthand what happens as we age. Things slow down and things fall away. But I felt a lot of joy in my job because I was able to bring something that really brought meaning and joy into these people's lives. So when it became time to take the next step, I knew I wanted to keep my focus on older populations, and educational enrichment seemed like a great move for me to stay engaged with the people that I respect and admire. And that's what led me to where I've been now for the last 8 years, which is the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute. Okay, that was embarrassing, but are we all on the same page now? Are we still looking at all these pictures? Okay, great. So let me show you two people that I really do admire. This is Bernard and Barbara Osher, and they are just fabulous looking people, fabulous people. Bernard was born and raised in Bidford, Maine, and he got his start in business working for his family's hardware company. When he grew, he moved to California and became the founding director of World Savings, which at the time was the second largest savings institute in the world, and it would later merge with Wachovia. He was an avid art collector, and so he purchased an auction house, which he eventually sold to eBay in 1999. And he had enormous personal wealth as he grew. And a love of the education and the arts, he started the Bernard Osher Foundation in 1977 to support these types of programs. So he's known as the quiet philanthropist. He very generously gives to many, many organizations. Among them, he created reentry scholarships. So these are for older adults going back to college, various integrative medicine programs, multiple programs in California and Maine at several universities, and the UC Berkeley Incentive Awards Program, which funds low-income students in the Northern California area. It's estimated he will give away over $800 million throughout his life. He is still alive at 98 years old, and he still comes to every conference, uh, well, most conferences that we have. It's really fun to see him. Everybody wants to take a selfie with Bernie Osher. But he's an extremely generous person. So around the same time that the foundation began, the elder hostel movement was taking place in the United States. And this is a picture with the guy with the beard of Marty Knowlton and his best friend, David Bianco. And Marty was the director of the University of New Hampshire's youth hostel program. And he had spent 4 years in Europe backpacking around and was just super impressed with the hostel network that they had catering to young travelers in Europe and with the Scandinavian folk schools he's encountered, where older adults pass down cultural traditions to young people. And he was telling David about it, his best friend, who was the director of residential life at the university. And together they wondered why we don't have more programs like this in the States for older people to learn and travel. Travel and adventure might be youthful notions, but older people have the time and the resources to do it, and the knowledge and enthusiasm to really get the most out of these experiences. So together they decided they would form an organization that catered exclusively to adults over the age of 60. They would do this by offering non-credit courses at local colleges that also had housing available during the summer when the students weren't there. So they created this program. They really liked youth hostel as a name, but obviously that wouldn't work. So they went with elder hostel instead. And elder hostel, the organization, was born. By 1980, over 20,000 adults had participated in an elder hostel course or program, mostly in the Northeast New England area. And in the next year, they started running international programs. By 2010, over 4 million people had participated in elder hostel. But you may not know them now. They did rebrand around that time, 2010, to take the name Rhodes Scholar. So you might be more familiar today with Rhodes Scholar, but that used to be Elder Hostel. So the success of Elder Hostel really showed those in the community that there needed to just be more engagement for people of a certain age. This was highlighted more by what was known at the time as the graying of America, which is, the demographic shift where in the United States, more and more people, a growing population are or will be elderly due to increased life expectancy and lower birth rates, and just people generally living longer, better lives. This was a Newsweek cover from 1977, which I found amusing, so I just want to share that with you. So the Elder Hostel brand then started reaching out to more colleges across the United States. They wanted to use their resources through the Elder Hostel Institute network to fund positions at various colleges, administrative positions designed to create independent, dynamic programs catered towards older adults and facilitate rapid member growth. Those programs at the time were generally referred to as Institutes of Learning and Retirement, or ILRs. So if we go back to the Oshers, Barbara, that's the wife, she had really taken notice of the elder hostel movement and the brand and was very interested in what they were doing to, this is their quote, fly in the face of ageism. And she was from Sweden. She also is still living. She is from Sweden. And they embrace elderhood and healthy attitudes towards aging in much different ways than we do here in the States or did at the time. The ideas around what older people could do or should be doing, and what makes life meaningful for people of a certain age. She was very inspired by the idea that you can grow old and you can age well, and those are not really the same thing. And that the idea or the concept coming around that a very important part of adulthood is what we were then starting to refer to as the third age of life. So the third age is just like it says, the period after traditional retirement, but before advancing age, ages 60 to 85. This was traditionally a time, or traditional thought about this time was that this is when you start to slow down in life and kind of, come away from a lot of the things that made your life active before. But really new thinking around it is that it should be and can be, with medical advances, a great time to really explore new things in life, to dive into new opportunities, to feel free, to have adventure, to live well, and not just to survive this time of life, but to really thrive and flourish at this stage. So she and Bernard decided at that time that they were going to direct some of the funds from the Bernard Osher Foundation into these early retirement programs at college campuses. They started with a $500 gift to the Fromm Institute in San Francisco. And then 1 year after that, $1,000 to the same group. And then the next year, $30,000 to be paid over the next 3 years. And this was in 1984. So a ton of things have happened since then, and I don't have time for that. But let's just go to the present. Today, the Bernard Osher Foundation has funded or supports a national lifelong learning network of programs designed for adults 50 or better. That's what we say, 50 or better. And there are 124 now in the United States. Each of these programs has a $1 or $2 million endowment based on its size. And each of them, under the terms of the endowment, have adopted the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute as part of its formal name. So that's where, when I say OLLI, I'm saying the acronym OLLI, Osher Lifelong Learning Institute. In 2004, the Osher National Resource Center was founded. This is at Northwestern University. And the purpose of the NRC is to provide education and support for all of the 124 OLLIs. They do this through workshops, through regional and national conferences, and through Basecamp, which is an online portal that connects all of us administratively. But what it isn't is a governing body. There is not a prescriptive way to run your OLLI. They are all very different. They tend to reflect the culture of their university and the needs of their particular members. And while we all have the same mission, to provide enriching intellectual, physical, and social opportunities for older people and ways to stay active and curious throughout the lifespan, we are all very, very different. And something you hear a lot in our world is to know one OLLI is to know one OLLI. And it really is true. So briefly, I'll tell you about the one OLLI that I actually know a lot about, and that's the one that employs me. That is the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute at NC State. I am here in Raleigh. I'm sorry, I didn't ask where everybody else was, but maybe after you can tell me. But here at OLLI at NC State, we were founded as one of the Institutes of Learning and Retirement in 1991, known as Encore at the time. And then we did apply for grants from the foundation and did receive a $2 million endowment and officially became an OLLI in 2014. Excuse me. We ended last year with just over 1,700 members. We are on pace to surpass 1,850 in FY26. And we offer about 250 programs each academic year. We run programs September through June. For us, these are multi-week courses, one-day lectures, study trips, experiential learning programs, domestic and international travel, and events. Here's some of these are our real members. These are real people. This is a lecture on systemic racism. This is with Crystal Carmichael. She is the director of race equity for Wake County. And Sarah Stein, Dr. Sarah Stein, is teaching a course on film production. It's called Lights, Camera, Action, Analyzing Film Production. These folks are attending a lecture called The Doolittle Raid, the Battle in Tokyo. And this is a lunch and learn program on carnivorous plants in North Carolina. Study trips. We go a lot of places near and far. Our members really want to engage with the campus community, so we do a lot of things on campus. I don't know if you're familiar with the NC State Wolfpack. We had a good year. Probably never happen again, but they used to play basketball here in Reynolds Coliseum. No longer do, but it's a great space to tour. It's a lot of fun. This is a major research project on campus, the building of the Integrative Sciences building. So we visited the construction site and they gave us a lecture about what the building would be. They got to see the plans, they got to see the site. We do go a little farther. This is the Whirligig Museum in Wilson, North Carolina. A group at a Durham Bulls game. This is Taste of Raleigh. It's a walking food tour. They love food. Events are a great time to connect. This is our spring picnic. It's always fun to be outside, and we did introduce raffles and prizes, and they really like that. So this is a very popular, fun event. There's just some of our members having a good time. Our seasonal celebration is a great time to gather and wish each other well before the holidays. And this is our instructor event at the end of the year. We celebrate all of our instructors. The members come. It's a great time. I neglected to mention that Dr. Mark will be presenting for us very soon in October. So you'll get an invitation to this event as well. We have clubs or special interest groups. There's too many, but here's a few. The Epicureans, they dine. The paddlers paddle. The trailblazers walk local trails and greenways. And then this is Readers Theater. They get together to read and perform old radio plays. They're a very lively bunch. And our members love to get involved in the community, so we do organize group volunteering. Here we are laying flags on Veterans Day at Oakwood Cemetery, sorting produce for the Produce Project, which does local boxes, and cleaning and repairing some items at the thrift shop. We also have Feed the Pack. This is a 2 time a year event that benefits the food pantry on campus for food insecure students. This is something our members really care about. They're very active with this, and we contribute thousands of pounds every year to the food pantry. So that's our OLLI. You know, we do a lot of things. Generally, most do the same type of things in a different way, but what we all really do have in common is that always operate on the for our members, by our members philosophy, in that our members drive the decision making around the types of programs that we do. They let us know what they want to learn, where they want to go, and we as staff, our job is to make their dreams come true from behind the scenes. OLLI runs on volunteer power. They all do. We'd be nothing without our volunteers. And here are some of them. We have several committees. Program Development Committee, they actively look for instructors that want to teach for our program. I believe that's how we got to you as well, Mark, through Bob Dietz. Not pictured there. I'll introduce you later. We have a marketing committee, and they go out in the community and promote us around. Hospitality, those are the smiling faces who plan and execute all of our perfect events. We have other groups too: Advisory Council, Financial Advisory Committee, Community Participation and Support, and our class hosts and ambassadors that serve our instructors and other members in the classroom. I think it's important to make the distinction of why we are this way. You know, studies show, and here's just a little infographic, that the essential elements to aging well and living a good long life are all intellectual, physical, stimulation, and social connection. And so that's what we aim to do with anything that we offer. But what really makes life worth living or enhances life at a certain age and brings meaning is getting involved in things that are purpose driven. And so by playing an active part in this process, they are making something and they're seeing the impact it has on other people. And it's a great way to utilize the talents and skills that we have as seasoned adults. As David Bowie said, another person I really admire, aging is an extraordinary process where you become the person you've always been. OLLIs are not senior centers. We're not adult daycares. We are communities of learners and doers. And they're places where our members can come and they're free to explore the amazing people that they have grown up to be. It's such a special thing to be involved with. I've really got to see how much it really serves our community, how meaningful it is for people to be involved. Some of our members, they come here every day and spend time with us. And it's so inspirational to me as a midlife person that one day again I'll have adventure. One day again I'll be back out in the world doing all the things I want to do. There's really no limit, except in here. And there's a whole world waiting for you as you enter the third age of life. If you're interested in learning more, happy to talk to you anytime. You can connect with me. Here is my email address, or you can go to the Osher National Resource Center's website to find an OLLI in your community. I do recommend this book if anybody wants to learn more about current thoughts on aging, mostly from a physical, biological, medical perspective. This is an amazing book by gerontologist Dr. Louise Aronson. It's beautiful, it's thoughtful, it's real, and it's a great read if anybody's interested in learning more. But again, as I said at the beginning, I'm neither a medical professional or an expert on aging, so that's what I have to offer you today. Hope it was helpful in you thinking about your future. And again, would love to connect with you anytime.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.